This is SIG P365XL, first range report. Let's hit the range. Don't forget to like and subscribe so Freddy gets his biscuits. The SIG P365XL is a striker-fired, micro-compact double-stacked pistol chambered in 9mm Luger. It is 6.6 inches long, 4.8 inches high, 1.1 inches wide, and weighs in at 20.7 ounces. It features a steel frame and slide. The slide has their nitron finish, as well as a polymer grip. Now, speaking of the grip, this is the X Series grip module with an extended beaver tail. This is the first P365 that has the X Series frame, and there are aftermarket frames available. Now, the gun does have a 3.7-inch carbon steel barrel. It also has a rail forward of the trigger guard for mounting something light or a laser guard, as well as front slide serrations, which I do enjoy having on this gun. They make it very easy to grip and articulate the slide. The gun comes with what SIG calls the X-Ray 3 day night sights. They are a very nice tritium night sight. Now, I have the Optics Ready model, which has a cut designed by Zev. This is cut by SIG and ready for an optics. As you can see, I have the Holosun 507K mounted. That was very easy to mount. You just remove the factory plate, put the Holosun in its place, put the screws in, boom, you're good to go. How about a little more range time before we talk about more of its features? The trigger on the SIG P365XL is their X Series straight trigger. Now, this breaks at 90 degrees, and I don't know what the official weight is. On my gauge, it came in at 4.5 pounds approximately. Now, the X Series grip module this gun comes with, I do actually like the length of this grip. I'm not sure on the width of it yet. On my 365 SAS, I do have the Hogue grip on it, and I think that makes that just about perfect. On this one, however, I think with that little bit of added length, it's just about right where it is. Now, one thing I really like about the length of this grip is I can get a comfortable, full one-handed, two-handed grip on it either way. Now, the first day I was shooting it, I did do some comparison versus my Hellcat with its 12-round magazines. And in one-handed shooting, the 12-round mags on my Hellcat were actually pinching the bottom of my hand, and I had none of those problems with the SIG, which I thought was fantastic. Now, let's hit the range again before we talk about the Holosun that's on there. Now, as I said before, this gun, you can get it milled by SIG with a cut that's designed by Zev, and I really like that they actually have that option, and it uses a floor plate design that supports some very common and very usable optics like this Holosun I put on there. Now, while adding something like the Holosun does increase the cost, obviously, because you're adding on, I don't know, a $200 to $300 red dot to your gun on top of its already, kind of expensive price. But the clarity on this Holosun is definitely well worth it. I'm giving you a shot of what the optic looks like and then what the red dot that I have. The ring on the outside, you can turn that on or off. If you just want the dot, you can just have the dot. If you want the ring like I have, you can add the ring in there by holding one of the buttons. Now, with the red dot attached, I don't think it adds so much to the height that it makes it a harder gun to carry. If you're already going to carry it with that longer grip, you might as well get it with the red dot. That's my view on the subject anyway. Now, if you don't like the red dot, you don't want the red dot, you can't afford the red dot, one thing to appreciate is this gun does come with nice night sights that are very functional that you don't need to replace right out the box anyway. It'll work perfectly as it comes and be a perfectly serviceable option in my opinion. Now, how about a little more range time? Now, after my first range session with this gun, so far I'm very impressed with this gun. I did around 200 rounds through the gun, 0 failures. 150 of those would have been hollow point self-defense rounds between 115 and 147 grains of a few different manufacturers, 0 problems. And then about 150 or so rounds of, I don't know if it was Winchester White Box or the Remington Green and Gold, one of those two. Now, I'm going to save my thoughts on this versus things like the Hellcat and my 365 SAS for those comparison videos. And I'm just going to speak strictly on this 365 XL. Now, if you want a little longer grip in your micro compact 9mm, maybe a little longer slide, I think this is certainly an option you should look at because it has a lot of very appealing features in my opinion. Now, the full hand 12 round magazine or more grip that you get on this gun, I think gives it a nice full hand control and comfortable aspect to it that you don't quite get in my opinion with things like the 365 SAS or even the Hellcat. Now, where I really notice this is when I do one-handed shooting, especially with my non-dominant hand. With the 365 SAS or the Hellcat, I'm all over the place, and I would even say it's a struggle. With the 365, even on my first day, while I'm no Annie Oakley one-handed with my offhand, I at least felt a degree of comfort that I don't feel in the others, and a lot of that has to do with, you don't really get much, you don't think there's much strength in the pinky, but having it there, I think gives you a confidence and comfort that, you don't appreciate till you don't have it, we'll say. Now, that being said, if there's one area I would knock the 365 XL, it's the same area that I'm going to knock all of the micro compact double stack 9mm, and that's, they're not the most pleasant guns to shoot. None of them are, I would say, are unpleasant as far as the 365 SAS, the Hellcat, or the XL that I've shot, but they're not the most pleasant, and I would say the XL is say the more pleasant of the three. But if you compare it to something like even my Beretta 92 Compact, that is very pleasant to shoot, comfortable to shoot. You shoot it all day. These guns, I would say you can shoot them all day, but you're going to feel it more at the end of the day. You know, that I would say they're not unpleasant, but they're sort of pushing the bounds of that. So there is that trade-off. To get down to that size, that weight, that easy concealability, you do have that trade-off of more felt recoil and a little more punishing to shoot in that regard. Now, so far I do think it's a good gun. I'm definitely looking forward to testing it against the Hellcat and the 365 SAS. I hope you're looking forward to watching that along with us. Now, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day.